Alright guys and gals, Crypto Kurt here, and this is the first video in what I hope to be, it will be an ongoing series titled Crypto Winners and Crypto Losers. And the concept here is on any given day, and I certainly won't do this every day, but on any given day, I'll come in here to CoinMarketCap. Most people come into CoinMarketCap and then just start scrolling and talking about what they see. I actually do this every day for my own interest, and I actually click on the change, and what that does is that filters and it puts the highest change first, and if you click it again it's the lowest, so the biggest loser. So basically you have the biggest winners of the day and the biggest losers of the day, and what I'm going to do in this series is basically look at the biggest winner and the biggest loser. The concept is not to do a serious deep dive. The concept is to basically do a quick overview of what's happening with the markets, what's happening with the token, what's the problem it's trying to solve, how do the tokens actually work, and then have a quick peek at the people behind the scenes and who are the leaders behind this particular token. I hope this will be valuable for everyone. Please, do like or dislike, based on the feedback that you give me. I'll either continue with these or not. But what I find quite interesting is oftentimes I've never heard of the winner and the loser on any given day. So for me, it's going to enhance my knowledge of the crypto universe. And by default, if you watch these videos, you also will gain that knowledge without having to do the physical research yourself. And I'll be able to present this to you in a quick, short fashion. I'm going to try to keep these videos down to between 10 and 12 minutes. Obviously, this one has a little bit of an introduction happening, but again, going forward, the idea is to do a quick overview of the winner and the loser on that given day. And again, maybe we'll all get some ideas of where we can place our investments going forward. And again, learn a little bit more about what's happening in the crypto space. Let's have a quick look at the token mechanism. Tokens sold during the token launch is known as the Gnosis token, or GNO. This is the only time that these tokens can be created, and therefore the total supply of GNO is fixed. Fees, similar to those of a trading market, will be charged to participants on the Gnosis services and applications layer. As a reminder, not the bare bones core layer. So there's three layers of the Gnosis network. The core layer is going to be free to access. Basically, you can build your apps and use the apps on that layer, and not as a user, you can use those apps and not have to incur any fees. If you go to the next two layers, though, there will be fees required. These fees will initially be denominated in cryptocurrency, namely BTC or ETH. Gnosis seeks to not only create interesting software, but also a community of those interested in sharing their wisdom on Gnosis markets. To do this, we need to create a model that lowers the barrier to entry for repeat users, e.g. having to pay BTC, ETH repeatedly. Therefore, in addition to paying this fee in BTH or ETH, Gnosis ecosystem participants will be able to pay the fee in Wisdom or WIZ tokens. You can tell I've lived out of the States for a long, long time when I start using Z instead of Z, right? Okay, so the Gnosis Wisdom WIZ tokens can be used to pay platform fees on the service layer, subsidize the fees of other participants, provide initial subsidies for markets or for market trading. Wiz will be pegged to the US dollar worth of fees, and this way Wiz acts as a coupon for $1 of use within Gnosis. Gnosis tokens, GNO, are the generator for Wisdom tokens, and Wiz can only be created via activating the utility of the Gnosis tokens. Alright, so for those of you familiar with Populous, where the concept is you're going to use the Populous PPT tokens to go into the platform, then you're going to get paid back out in tokens, and then you're also going to get given back the original PPTs. This is exactly what's happening here, okay? So activation of the Gnosis tokens is done via smart contract system. Smart contract works as follows. GNA token holders agree to lock their tokens in a smart contract ranging from 30 to 365 days. A multiplier is added for longer lock durations. Smart contract determines the user selected lock duration and applies that duration to a formula that is designed to regulate the supply of Wiz tokens currently in use. Prior to locking their GNO tokens in a smart contract, users will be able to see exactly how much Wiz they will receive as a result of executing the smart contract. Once users execute the contract, 30% of their Wiz will be distributed for immediate use, and the remaining 70% will be distributed proportionally over the locked duration. Once the lock duration expires, the locked GNO ceases to generate Wiz, and the GNO becomes freely transferable by the holder. There is no limit other than the duration for how many times GNO tokens may be used to create Wiz. Now, a quick search on CoinMarketCap shows Wiz tokens are not trading, so I don't know whether they're actually live yet. Again, we'll have to go back in. This is a graphic basically showing token buyer will buy the GNO tokens. They will be locked down to generate Wiz, which will generate the Wiz tokens. The value of the Wiz is $1, and Wiz can be used to pay fees on the markets, and so the fees. So again, you come in as a token buyer, you buy the GNO, it generates Wiz, and then when you walk out at the end, you get your GNO back plus the Wiz that you've created. Now again, this is an application layer, guys. So this is all about having applications built that use this predictive technology. And what are some of the technologies or industries that would use predictive applications? Let's have a quick look. All right, the first obvious one is financial instruments. Everyone wants to know what the value of something is going to be in the future. And you can see, alternatively, prediction markets can be used to create pegged and stable currencies. For example, an Ether USD currency can be implemented by creating a scalar market and ask what will the Ether USD exchange rate be at a future date. Okay, so again, it's easy to understand how you can use predictive technologies for the financial industry. Another is insurance and hedging instruments. So will this area flood next year? Will an earthquake over 5.0 magnitude occur within 50 miles of this location? So all these probabilities can be worked out from actuarial estimates. But again, what the concept here is they're going to build apps, or someone's going to build apps which will live on this platform and then utilize the GNO tokens to process the predictive nature and used on the application. Information. So the information technology world, will Corporation A acquire Corporation B within set time frame? Again, that's back to the financial space, but we're trying to, again, be predictive about how corporations are going to move or grow or potentially take over each other, etc. I thought this one was interesting. Here's the portrait of a young woman. They're estimating what this is worth. For those of you watching the news, you know the, I can't remember the guy's, Leonardo da Vinci painting that just sold for $450 million. I mean, who would have predicted that, that kind of money would be dumped into an asset? But I think, personally, what you're seeing there is you're seeing the people dumping fiat and trying to get, real assets. Governance. Should a portion of the budget be allocated for infrastructure projects for education? Which option will result in greater GDP? So again, organizations can use predictive analysis to make internal decisions. Incentivization. Okay, so has a particular event occurred? Will this event occur at a particular date? What's the outcome, and how do we put some bonus around that, or to pay people to incentivize them to take action, to do something based on our predictive analysis? Of course, sports betting. Everyone wants to know which horse is going to win, what team's going to win, what guy's going to change teams, etc., etc. Okay, now let's take a quick look at the team. Martin Koppelman, entrepreneur, thought leader. He's founder of the biggest Bitcoin prediction market, Fairlay. They must have worked together with Stefan George, the CTO, because he obviously started his own Bitcoin startup, Fairlay. On and on you can go. Again, there's some interesting players in this group. Let me get on to the next guy. Physicist, software developer working with cryptocurrencies at the end of 2015. I found this interesting on the board of advisors. Co-founder, Joseph Lubin, co-founder of Ethereum. Jeremy Miller, chief of staff at Consensus. And then we get all the way down to the bottom, and we have Vitalik. So Vitalik Buterin is actually acting as an advisor. So there's some big players behind this. It's not a bunch of people that you've never heard of from a country you've never heard of. There's some real, successful people behind this. So, hey, I'm not trying to pump or dump it. I'm, again, just doing a rough analysis. Now I've done this. I am very interested in it, and I'm certainly going to take a deeper look at it. But now, guys, drum roll, please. It's time to look at the loser. All right, so Eternity is the loser of the day, down 30%, 55 cents per share. Let's have a quick look at what's happening in the space here. Down 29.46%. Again, kind of all over the shop. Came out with the pop, as most ICOs do. Been bumping all over the place. Something happened back in August. Maybe that's when they hit the exchanges, actually. Must be. And we've had a huge run-up and then a big pullback. So hence you can again see why they're the big loser, because they've just had a massive pullback in the last few days. Let's look at the 7-day chart real quick. Yeah, so you can see just a big absolute drop. So what's the bad news? Quickly on the social, do we see anything? Social announcements. Update, team is announcing changes in team structure and development timeline. Get all the details on the blog. I'm not going to go look at that. I'm wondering if they have removed some people or the timeline's been pushed out. My guess is some kind of not so good news has come out for it to have that kind of run up. But again, these are not deep dives. These are just quick overviews to then see, hey, do we actually want to go delve deeper into this organization and find out what's going on? Is this a buying opportunity, basically? Okay, so what is it that they do? They provide scalable smart contracts interfacing with real-world data. We are going to take a quick look at the white paper. The white paper is fairly technical. You can tell it was written by someone who has a very technical background, was not written from a marketing perspective, and doesn't make it easy to completely understand what they're doing unless you are a techno geek and you're really into what's happening with smart contracts. But we will have a look at some of the things they're trying to achieve. Basically, there's going to be state channels which are going to be available to be created or accessed, decentralized oracles, unique governance, consensus, privacy, security, low cost, etc. Let's have a look at the white paper, see if we can make some sense of that. Again, I'm on page 7 of 10, and the whole above that is pretty technical. The whole paper is pretty technical. So let's just go through this quickly. So the state channel application, so there's toll APIs. So most APIs existing today are publicly available for anyone to call. Payment channels allow for a new kind of API, and paying to access APIs solves DDoS problems, makes it easier to build high-quality APIs that are always available. Insured crowdfunding. We can implement insured crowdfunding using dominant assurance contracts. These are smart contracts used to raise money for public good, like a new bridge, a school, or a market. Cross-chain atomic swaps. So cross-chain atomic swaps allow for trustless exchange of EON for bitcoins, as an example. Stable value assets and portfolio replication. We can use smart contracts to program synthetic assets that stay nearly the same price as a real-world asset. For example, we could make an asset that stays the same price as gold. Synthetic derivatives are created in equal and opposite pairs. For one user to have an asset that moves with gold, a different user will have to have an asset that will move inversely to gold. Event contracts, insurance, the insurance market, whistleblowing. Event contracts can be used to incentivize revealing sensitive information. Prediction market. So here we go. They're almost an exact, in this particular instance, a competitor with Gnosis. And this is a prediction market, works by letting users bet on whether a future event will happen. What else do we have here? We've got multi-dimensional prediction markets. So allows us to predict the correlation between possible future events. Market with batch trading at a single price. There are two approaches available to attackers that want to rob Aeon from a market. They could take advantage of the market being split in time, or they can take advantage of it being split in space. And on it goes. So again, not a super clear. It's super clear if you're it's super technical and you're truly across the smart contract world, which I obviously am not. So again, one of those things that kind of goes against these organizations is having a white paper that's so technical that for those of us who aren't super technical, we have a hard time understanding, what the value of this is. Here's an example here. What is this? This is talking about free option problem. If Alex and Bob have a channel and Alice signs a contract, she essentially gives Bob a free option when she sends it to him. Again, you have to understand how these contracts are built, what you actually want to achieve with the contract, and I think you need to have a really good idea of what you're trying to achieve before you just get in here and start playing around. So let's have a quick look at the team. Yanislav Malahav. I tried to go to the LinkedIn. There was no LinkedIn button here. I did a Google search, did find him here. Look in the Google search. Basically, he claims to be the godfather of Ethereum. Okay, man who claims to be Ethereum's godfather aims at recasting smart contracts. And then I've gone to his LinkedIn profile. Look, one of the things I look for with LinkedIn profiles, guys, is have the LinkedIn profiles been created simply for the use of, simply for the ICO. And for anyone doing due diligence on, team members or people behind these ICOs, I do suggest that you do start with LinkedIn. if you go to the Twitter, again, anyone can be behind the Twitter account. You go to Medium, anyone can be behind the Medium account. But, the LinkedIn is kind of the personal representation of the person. So one of the first things I look for is how many people are they connected to, okay? If they only have 10, 12, 22, and they've been around for 20 years, or it's obvious that the LinkedIn account's been created on the fly. And so that's one of the first thing I look at there. Another thing I look at is, have they actually done stuff? So obviously he's founder, back in 2012, creator of Pinco College Maker for websites. Interestingly here, back in 2014, building the first Dogecoin browser wallet. Volunteer experience, web development. Again, this is another thing I look for. I look for a bunch of skills, and I look for a bunch of people who have endorsed them. And one of the real obvious things is when they only have 3 or 4 endorsements, and all the endorsements come from the other team members that are listed in the list. That's for me, clearly a bad sign, because again, we want people who have had a real life experience, not who've come in here and created a LinkedIn profile just for the purposes of getting the ICO off the ground. Okay, look at a couple other team members. So this is the marketing person. Again, 500 plus. She's done some other things. She's had some other jobs. She's been around a little while. Again, this doesn't look like an account that's been created on the fly. This is the COO. Again, same thing, 500 plus, plenty of activity, jobs listed over a period of time. So again, that's all good. Again, I can't speak to their personal capabilities, and they certainly, no one here, and I'm not trying to have a go at them, but no one here has the pedigree that some of those other people have with regards to Gnosis. All right, guys, so that's kind of an overview there. So again, we've got Gnosis, a winner, up massive, and we have Eternity down. Let's get back over to the Coinbase. So again, Eternity down 30%. Gnosis up 54%. You can see it's making a bit of a turn here, so it's having a little bit of a pullback. And it looks like Gnosis is getting a dead cat bounce, and looks like it's going to continue on its downward trend. So once again, guys, this is the first version of Crypto Winners and Crypto Losers, produced by Crypto Kurt of Quantum Publishing. I hope that this has been valuable. For me, it's been valuable because, again, I learned something about these companies, and hopefully you'll learn something about these companies. And again, maybe we can get together and we can chat about some buying and selling opportunities and help each other get rich. So once again, please do give thumbs up or thumbs down if you like these or not. Again, if no one wants me to do these, and there's no sense in me doing them, so I'll put that on the shelf. But as I said, it interests me, and it's something that I do every day. And you might want to just have a go at seeing what's on the pump and what's on the dump. All right, guys, Crypto Kurt out.